In the Great Depression of the 1930s, poor and working-class children in the United States wrote to Mrs. Roosevelt for clothes. In the preliminary statement on economic resources of families and communities at the White House Conference on Children in a Democracy, a 1940 census found that across 35 million dwelling units, 31% lacked running water, 32% used an outside toilet or privy, 39% had neither private nor communal bathtubs or showers, and 27% lacked any refrigeration equipment. Access to heat, cooling, and electricity was also severely limited, especially in rural areas. Clothing was one of the most frequent requests of Mrs. Roosevelt by Depression-era children, as being low on the social ladder resulted in looking shabby and unwashed. Moreover, an unkempt appearance could result in being passed over for employment, and many young people of the 1930s report being left out of social gatherings or having to refuse invitations to parties or church due to the state of their clothes. Welcome to History in Letters and Memoirs Great Depression series. This collection intends to be a living history that draws from two books, Down and Out in the Great Depression, Letters from the Forgotten Man by Robert S. McIlvaine, and Dear Mrs. Roosevelt, Letters from Children of the Great Depression by Robert Cohen. Each installment in this series features a selection of letters organized by topic, with a few excerpts from Cohen, McIlvaine, and other sources to provide additional context. Although these letters were written almost a century ago, their content feels unnervingly close. Because Cohen and McIlvaine have taken great care to faithfully transcribe each letter as it was written, every letter is displayed on screen as it is read. Images from the time period accompany the text. I try my best to read word for word, but at times I make minor changes to language and sentence structure. I claim sole responsibility for any mistakes in interpretation. Likewise, cadence and tone of voice are my subjective attempt to convey the deep feeling with which 1930s Americans wrote to their presidents and politicians, sharing their lives, their despair, their hope, and their need. Dear Mrs. Roosevelt, I'm sorry this had to be written on funny paper, but honest, it's very funny to live. I wished sometimes that I were dead. It was Sunday when I wrote this letter to you. I had just come upstairs to sleep. I have been crying, so please excuse my writing. On Sunday, I sit around and cry myself to sleep. I'm not allowed out, never. I'm always in the house. Nobody comes to our house because it's so old-fashioned and not a place for fun. I'm not allowed to buy books like true stories or any other kind. I'm sick. I hate life. I go with my girlfriends to school sometimes, but they don't appreciate me because I'm poor and haven't got clothes like they do. I wished and wish for clothes. I hope that someday I will enter a contest and win some money. I hate everything now because life seems blind. I love my mother dearly. My dad works 3 days a week. He gets $40 a month. But he has a lot of old bills to pay from before, when he did not work. The White House Conference on Children in 1940 defined poverty with two levels. The first was an emergency level of $903 annually, with $340 going to food, less than $1 a day for 4 active family members, $168 for housing at $14 per month, $10.60 per month for clothing upkeep, and personal care, and another $10.60 per month for household operations, including fuel, light, and so on. The second level of poverty was the maintenance level at $1,261 per year, and was assumed to provide for a private indoor bathroom and toilet. Neither budget allowed for medical expenses or a car for a family of 4. Quote, According to the conference's data, over a third of American families did not have in 1935 and 1936 incomes that would have purchased the emergency level budget, and over half of American families had incomes below the maintenance budget. I wish I had work. I would help my dad, although he is mean to me. As old as I am, I still get beaten. Well, you would say, why? Because sometimes he gets drunk and starts to beat us for silly things. I'm sick and tired. Dad buys me some things once in a great while, but how long? I only have 3 dresses for school. One of my girlfriends gives me shoes, but oh, God bless her. Please, help me. I'd like to get some nice clothes and some furniture for our house. I want to brace up. I want to go with my friends and show them kindness. I want to cooperate well with others. I want to be loved. Please answer to MS, because I have a cousin that has the same name and she might get the answer. Please answer soon. I'm 15 years old in the 8th grade. Don't show this letter to nobody, please. Won't you help me, dear? Please send me some money so I can do something. I want you to write to me as a friend. Please write or answer. I would like to have an answer. Thank you. I'll be your friend forever. Excuse my errors. Clairton, Pennsylvania. Acknowledged, March 1st, 1934. Honorable Mrs. Roosevelt, my uncle has been telling me of the help you have been giving to the miners and their families, and I am a miner's daughter, age 18. I never finished school because I was ill. My heart was bad. It has been well for the past 2 years, but I can't afford to go to school, as my father is unable to work but draws a government pension, which is enough to support us, but as we have a large family, it is not enough to dress us. I have earned my tuition for business college, working for a lady in our town. I visited a girls' club in California, and one of the subjects was the description of the White House, and it was said the attic of the White House was overflowing with discarded clothing. If this is true and you would send me some, I am rather clever with a needle, and I would be forever grateful. A.E. Brownsville, Pennsylvania, May 25th, 1934. Dear Mrs. Roosevelt, how are you? I am just fine. I am just asking you to send me a dress. My father can't afford to even get me a pair of stockings. My dad only works 1 day. My brother don't work, can't find a job. I don't have no shoes to wear to school. I am 13 years old, get size for a dress 14 and shoes 5.5. My father can't hardly afford to buy us children food to eat. There is 10 of us children. I don't have 1 pair of stockings to wear. Well, my dear Mrs. Roosevelt, I hope you send them stuff, for I'll be waiting for the package. I never had a nickel in my life for myself. My dear Mrs. Roosevelt, will you please? I always have to cry for clothes. I am ragged going to church and school. I am waiting for the package. Goodbye, Mrs. Roosevelt. J.T. Union City, Pennsylvania, September 5th, 1934. My dear Mrs. Roosevelt, I go to the Alliance High School. I am 18 years old and a senior. We live on a small farm near Freeburg, Ohio. My father has been out of work for 5 years. A girl can't get many small necessities in life when there is no income. At noon, I walk downtown and see the pretty clothes, but cannot get them. The main reason for my writing this letter is to ask you what you do with your old clothes. My mother makes over what few I get, but that isn't many. There is 3 from our family in high school, so there isn't much chance for me or sisters or brothers getting any. I wonder if you would send me your old ones so Mother could make me a couple of dresses for school or anything. They would be greatly appreciated, I'm sure. I am 5 feet 6, wear 5.5 shoes, dark brown eyes and hair, medium complexion and skinny. I weigh only 100 pounds. I am writing this letter in school and have one eye on the teacher, so I am not writing as nice as I can. Alliance, Ohio, December 5th, 1934. P.S. You may wonder why the fancy stationery, but it was given to me for my birthday. I hope you can send me a few that aren't needed by you. Please do not publish this. Dear Mrs. Roosevelt, I am a girl 14 years old. I am asking a favor of you, and a big one, too. Will you please send me some clothes or some money for some, if you can? My girlfriend wrote, too. We both don't have any clothes. The kids at school all make fun of you if you can't dress just so. Please let me hear from you, and please don't publish this letter, or us girls shall get a terrible beating. May God bless you. Dow's, Iowa, March 24th, 1934. Dear President and Wife, this is the first time I or any of my people wrote any president, and I am here to ask you for $8 to get me a winter coat. This may seem very strange for a girl 12 years old to do, but my father is a poor, honest working laundryman, and he works on a percentage a week. We have 10 in our family, and my father does not have enough money to get him a bottle of beer. He is a Democrat and did all he could to have you voted. The National Recovery Administration is coming along fine. As little as I am, I know just as much about depression as a grown person. I'm 12 years old and am in the 8th grade, curly hair brunette and brown eyes and fair complexion and weigh 76 pounds. Hoping to hear from you soon, I remain your true Democrat. J.A.G. Barboursville, West Virginia, August 23, 1934. P.S. We would have loved if Mrs. Roosevelt, when she was visiting Logan, to come around to our small town. She was only about 60 miles from here. Dear Mrs. Roosevelt, I know you get letters like this almost every day, but here is one I hope and pray will be answered. I live in Alabama on a farm, and it seemed mighty hard for us. We have so much sickness in our home. We have a farm, but it seems if there isn't something done, we will lose it. We owe lots of hospital bills. Wasn't for that, we would be in a better shape. My father and one of my sister had an operation the same year. My mother and father is in very bad health. I am the oldest child at home, and I am only 16. Mrs. Roosevelt, if you please will send us a few dollars, not to pay our debts, but to get us a few clothes to wear. If you can't send us none, please answer my letter and tell me why you can't. If you possible can just send us a little bit. Don't never think it will be wasted, for it won't. I'm sure it will be put to good use. We want to thank your husband, Mr. Roosevelt, for his good plan he has planned for us poor people. We know it is for the poor people good, but it seems it hasn't reached us yet much. Mrs. Roosevelt, this is my first time to write anyone for any money or any of the family, but I know you are very, very rich, and we have to work hard. I don't dread working, if we could only get one thing much for what we raise. Now if you will please send us a few dollars, and it will be greatly appreciated, and we never can and never will thank you enough for it. Please answer my letter. Your friend that lives in Alabama, E.B. Double Springs, Alabama, December 27th, 1934. My dear Mrs. Roosevelt, my first thought was to write to the President himself, for I know him to be a very kind man, but unfortunately a very busy man too. So now I am writing to you instead, in the hope that you will once more show your kindness in making me happy. Understand, please, that I am not accustomed to ask for or take charity, but so long my desire to have the nice things most other girls enjoy has gone unfulfilled that I now ask you, whom I, like many others, consider a literal fairy godmother, if it would be an atrocity for me to ask you for a snowsuit. I have a pair of second-hand skis, and something that answers the purpose of a sled, but I am actually ashamed to appear before my friends, join their fun and sliding parties in my tattered overalls and old coat, both of which I have sadly outgrown. I ask for your sympathy, though I little expect it, because you have never been deprived of the nice things of a life by a stubborn depression that is taking its own sweet time about saying adios. Perhaps you think it an extravagant thing to ask for, not a real necessity. But I have been forced to be satisfied with bare necessities for so long that I often revolt and indulge in a usually useless longing for a snowsuit. And of course many other things, but a snowsuit especially, of any kind and description, but preferably different, if I may be choosy. I am 16 years old, 5 feet 4 inches tall, and a senior in high school. Just between you and me, in my next letter I hope to enclose a clipping from our county paper announcing the high school honors. My honors? Sincerely, C.B. Park Rapids, Minnesota, January 6th, 1935. P.S. If you cannot send me a full suit, maybe I can do without the jacket, fix something up here maybe. But please, oh please. Creating a living history is not without expense. If you would like to support the channel, please consider making a donation. I've put a link in the description. You can also support by hitting the like button, subscribing and turning on notifications so you don't miss a video, and dropping a comment below on which letter catches your attention and why. Turn to the person next to you and tell them what caught your attention and why. Ask them for their perspective. Listen, respond, connect, continue. Thank you for keeping this history alive. Apart from assistance in creating a caption file, History in Letters and Memoir is an AI-free channel. Mrs. Roosevelt, I am a boy of 15 and am a sophomore in Wallens High School. I want to borrow $30 from you at 6% interest to be paid back within 2 years. I want the money to buy me a suit as I am tired of being a wallflower and not being invited to parties. You may think I am very egotistical, pardon spelling, but my mother gets a check of $30 every month from the government, and this buys our groceries, and there is very little left for clothes. You think back to when you were in high school and you'll see what it is to not have any clothes. I solemnly pledge to pay you back within 2 years. Yours, C.H. Wallens, Kentucky. Acknowledged, January 28th, 1937. P.S. I am 5 foot 6 inches tall, chest 36 inches, pant size 30 to 32. Many thanks to the historians and archivists whose painstaking work preserves our history. Many more thanks to the forgotten men, women, and children from the Depression era whose words reach through time, offering wisdom and warning.